definitely.
So, transition a little bit to maybe some rider safety. Obviously, we play in the backcountry. Backcountry doesn't give a crap who you are, where you came from, what skills you have, how much money you have, what toys you have in the grid. It does not care, right? And so we're over in Idaho. You guys are right next door in Wyoming. Obviously, we're in Avalanche terrain, landscape that we ride in, we play around in. And one of us here has been in an avalanche. I haven't. I don't even know. Have you guys?
I've caused avalanches a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, I think everyone probably has been
close proximity to
an avalanche.
Some side, yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy right here, Anthony,
Yep.
has survived an avalanche.
That was a scary day.
Do you mind sharing? Walk us through kind of what the experience of being there with you, and then I guess what you would take away from that experience.
Well, I mean, it was, first of all, it was the scariest day of my life by far. Just the feeling of being under the snow, having so much pressure around you, you could not move, you could not do anything. And as soon as I was completely buried, it was...
So you were fully submerged?
For just a little bit. And then, so how it all started was I went up, did a re-entry, came back down, and I flipped over the top of my sled. And the sled pinned me under the snow because it rolled over me.
Yeah.
And by that time, I didn't see the avalanche happen, the slide break, no cracks or nothing. And
so hold on, if there was no avalanche, this is a thing too, right? You had eyes on you, or is that a lesson we're going to learn?
So, I actually got really lucky.
If you're pinned under the snow, right, like you don't have any eyes on you under the snowmobile.
Yeah, no. So I got really lucky that day. I was riding with a group of like 5 other sledders, and then probably about 20, 30 yards, there was a group of backcountry skiers just hanging out, camping, having a fire. They were on top of me before my sledding buddies were.
Wow.
And extremely lucky. They had eyes on me the whole time. They saw it break.
On skis.
On skis. Yep. They had sleds there, but sleds were parked at the bottom of the hill. They were climbing the top of the mountains and skiing down, but they were just hanging out, campfire, and we were just playing on the same kind of hillside with them, and they were the first ones on top of me. I'm grateful for that.
So
part.
they had eyes on you from their vantage point.
From their vantage point, yep. So they had eyes on me. My other buddies were just down the hill a ways, and they were there within a few minutes. But if it wasn't for them, I would have been stuck there for a good minute until my buddies would have got there. But it was...
When it slid, did the snowmobile, did you slide with the snowmobile on top of you, or did that get off? And
I slid with the snowmobile coming all the way down. Mm-hmm. My leg got caught in the handlebars.
Oh.
And so that's...
So it kept you down.
It kept me down, yep. And so it was on top of me during the whole slide. And with my leg being caught in the handlebars, it had one more flip and it pulled me up out of the snow, and I was buried belly button deep down. And I think that was the only thing that saved me.
So when you came to a stop, you were upright.
I was
belly
upright,
deep
facing.
Snowmobile was
the handlebars was behind my leg, and the dash was sitting on top of me.
Wow.
And I was like at a 45-degree angle on the hill. So
when you realize it's going down, in that moment, is your adrenaline rushing? Is there so much going on in the brain? So many things coming at you, decisions, what am I going to do? Or are you able, in that moment, to clearly think, this is what's happening, and here's my checklist of things I got to do?
That's what went through my head, just with all the training that I've been through, local clubs, the level 1 that we went and did and everything, and I kind of had a small checklist of what I should do, and none of those checklists happened. It just happened so fast.
So you have the mental checklist, but
I didn't freak out.
It was so fast you just couldn't.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Just 100% survival.
Yep, and I didn't want to freak out because I knew that was gonna make the situation worse, and so I just had that mental checklist in my head, and all right, well, let's reach for the Abby bag and pull. Well, that happened so fast I couldn't reach for it. It just, the snow was too compacted and tight and everything. And so I was like, well, let me just try to like brace an air bubble for my head in case I do get buried, or try to swim. And none of that was possible for me. It just, with the snowmobile being on top of me and everything, it just was, all I had was just hope in that moment. And I mean, it just was.
Because you're thinking, this is going to go one of two ways. I'm going to see light.
I'm going to see light,
Or
or
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
going to
see
see
light.
light. Yep. And I was just, the whole way down, I was just praying and just hoping that I would see light again. And if it wasn't for the handlebars, I don't think I would have saw light again. It was, it was.
You better take those handlebars. You better mount those things in your bedroom.
I'm going to. I'm going
Yeah.
to.
Those things should never leave your side.
Nope. So, yep. It was after the fact that it happened. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
After I saw how big the slide was and everything, and how deep the crown was at the top. It was over 6 foot,
Wow.
and I still don't know how it didn't pull me under farther,
Yeah.
but it just, them handlebars.
So obviously, like, okay, so you can now say that you've survived an avalanche. What like, obviously, I'm assuming if you could go back, you would say, I just wouldn't have done what I did.
Yep.
If you're back in that situation again tomorrow, what's your thought process going to be like that's going to get you to not do the thing that you did? Like, does anything change there, or?
Yes, I would say so, because that weekend that it happened, we got a good 20-30 inches of fresh new snow.
Yep.
That slope was more than a 30-degree slope, and
Check.
check. And at that time, I wasn't really thinking. I was just having fun. And the other thing that threw me off was the hillside that we were playing on. We had 90% of it tore up. I mean, tore up.
Oh, interesting.
And I just went over off to the right where there was still a little fresh section and didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, it's going to be good. And went up, and that's when it happened. And no matter what, I mean, if it's tracked or not, it can still happen. That's another thing I really learned I don't know. It was.
Yeah, if all of the boxes are checked.
Yeah.
And I just want to chime in real quick for insurance. If they're watching this, this was not on a guided tour.
Nope.
And this wasn't even in our mountain range. So
Montana.
It was in Cook City, and if you don't know much about Cook City is like historically dangerous. It's like a
Number
really
one in.
avalanche fatalities.
Yep.
So it's a super sketch place to ride when you get fresh snow.
Fresh snow,
Yeah.
right?
I just want that on the record. That
Yep.
This wasn't a guided tour. There was no clients. We take it super seriously. Avalanche safety. We don't probably, if we had clients, probably wouldn't even be close to
I
that
wouldn't
hill.
have been on that hill.
So different scenario. Just
Yeah.
wanted to chime that in there. So
Yeah. We were just out for a weekend enjoying the new snow, but glad it wasn't on a guided trip. That was
Yeah.
no.
That's the big thing. But it only didn't teach me lessons, but it taught everyone else that was in my group, even the backcountry skiers
Yeah.
that were there. And